Hello nerds! You are about to see the most recent gaming and tech nerd news. For the full news show, then you can follow the top link there in the description, or, you know, if you're not on YouTube, youtube.com/generallynerdy, generallynerdy.net, so on and so forth. But let's jump into the nerdy news before we get too far ahead of ourselves. Let's continue on down the road into the gaming and tech section, and this probably has one of my more excitable pieces of news for this episode. Let's start first, though, in the follow-ups and corrections section. So follow-up on Halo Infinite. We were supposed to start this week, according to some outlets, we were supposed to start this week today as I'm filming, so yesterday as you're watching or listening, with a new event, a new sub-event, I guess, in the Halo Infinite game. And that was supposed to be the tactical ops event, which there's a couple of rumors around this, so we'll get to that in the rumor mill. But yeah, tactical ops was supposed to start today. It didn't. It's not starting actually until March. Season 2 is still a few months out, so we will probably see the Fracture Tenrai event come back at least one more time, probably twice before the end of Season 1. So if you have yet to get your Yaorai suit of armor the way you want it, then you've got more time to do that. The Tactical Ops event will still be coming. It is still on the calendar. Just looks like it is going to be March 8th. And not February 8th. Our next follow-up has to do with the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. This one also is a change in date. It has been moved back to 2023. No exact time window has been given aside from just sometime next year. Hopefully that's a good thing. If you have watched enough of that Hey What Happened series on YouTube, then you know that not always is a change in schedule a bad thing. So hopefully this is just going to give them time to polish up what they already have. And then our final piece of follow-up news is the piece that Gladiator Bricks over on the TikToks contributed to, or actually requested more like, and that is Fallout 5. He requested that we look into Fallout 5 and what the status is right now. And it is kind of what it has been since November when we last checked in on this. And that is not a whole lot going on because Bethesda actually has 3 pretty massive projects on their plate as it stands. So right now, they're dealing with Starfield, which is their Xbox exclusive title, and then Elder Scrolls 6, as well as that Indiana Jones game that we talked about a few months back. All 3 of these projects are very much in development, as well as whatever they're doing for maintenance, whatever that means, on Fallout 76. So very much Bethesda is not dormant right now, just Fallout kind of is. Okay, so our final piece of follow-up is Joe Rogan. So Rumble has jumped into the mix, and they have offered something similar to what Spotify gave him. Not the same, it is very similar though. So Spotify offered Joe $100 million for somewhere between 4 and 5 years of exclusivity on their platform. Mostly exclusivity, because he's still posting clips to YouTube. Either way. So $100 million for 4 years on Spotify, but theoretically they could be in breach of contract because they're censoring him. They're requesting. They did say that Joe took down those 100+ episodes over the weekend last week, but they are requesting that he do things to censor himself. Potentially, he's also censoring himself. But either way, there is something coming down from Spotify. So Rumble said, "Hey, we will give you $100 million for 4 years." And we're not going to censor you. We're going to let you take even all of the ones that you've taken down. We're going to let you put all of those episodes up on our platform as long as you sign exclusivity with us for 4 years. Now, the catch here is, even though those sound the same, they're not, because Rogan also has stock in Spotify. So he would have to have something similar in Rumble, which probably is not going to be the same deal. So whatever he brings in for subscriptions on Spotify, he gets a portion of that. And so likewise, Rumble would have to cut him something similar there. Those details have not yet been made public. It is a very evolving situation. We're not going to talk about all of the new people who have come out to support him or all of those who have come out against him, because that's just silly. And I said I didn't want to talk about that again. So yeah, that's where that stands. Let's move on, shall we, into proper news. And we have some really interesting techie kind of stuff for proper news. First thing is the really interesting, super exciting bit from NASA. NASA has announced that by the end of the decade, so before 2030, presumably, they are trying to put another manned mission to the moon. Up in space. Right now, they're not competing. We as a country, as far as the space race is concerned, we are not competing with other countries. We are competing the government versus private enterprise. We have Blue SpaceX, which is Elon Musk, and then the Amazon one, Jeff Bezos's Blue whatever, Blue Beetle. No, that's where the space race is. So NASA has teamed up to a degree with Toyota, and they're going to be designing what they're calling the Lunar Cruiser, in kind of homage to the Land Cruiser that they make already. So very interesting. This Lunar Cruiser is going to be the first mannable vehicle on the moon that is sealed, so they'll be able to breathe without being in their suits, as well as something that the astronauts themselves will control. Aside from what we got last time we went to the moon, which was they had to be in their suits, or it's been something that has only been controllable by NASA here on Earth. So very interesting there, super exciting. There's a whole giant blurb that I was planning on reading. But we're not going to read that. It's going to be a long enough episode. So yeah, super exciting. We will be keeping tabs here as that space race ramps up, because if that's not nerdy news, I don't know what is. Our next piece has to do with Pokemon. Nintendo, actually, rather more specifically, has released a new streaming platform that is streaming free-to-play music, so you can put in your gaming stream some free music from Nintendo that is based on Pokemon music. It is actual Pokemon music. It is their sound library. You can find the link to it down in the description below. That is kind of gigantic, because Nintendo is notorious for not wanting people to stream their games for whatever reason, and so this is kind of a huge step in the right direction. That is what we have for news. Suggestions here in the gaming and tech section. Really just happy Elden Ring Day. If you're not playing that, then you're hopefully playing Halo or Splitgate, which we talked about in the last episode. So yeah, that's what we've got there for suggestions. Once again, that was the gaming and tech. I know, my shirt keeps changing. It's so weird. Pre-recorded is a wonderful thing. Anyway, if you want to see the full episode, top link down in the description if you're watching on YouTube, or you can just check out youtube.com/generallynerdy. There is a bunch of other places you can find me, all of the social medias. Just look for The Nerdy Ninja. He is the logo, and that is the place to go find me, is wherever his face is. My face will be shortly behind. GenerallyNerdy.net is the website. Patreon.com/GenerallyNerdy to get behind the paywall and see all of the things. Thank you very much for joining me, nerds. Before we go, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.